Ladies and gentlemen, hope is not merely a wishful thought, it is a deep and abiding assurance that something good and true lies ahead. It whispers to us in the silence, urging us to press on even when the road grows dark and uncertain. Hope is not born from circumstances, nor is it dependent on the shifting sands of fortune. Rather, it is rooted in the eternal, in the one who sees beyond the veil of time. We are often tempted to measure life by what we can see and touch, but there is far more at work than what meets the eye. Just as a gardener tends the soil before the bloom appears, so too is a greater hand preparing what we cannot yet perceive. The seasons of waiting, of struggle, are not wasted, they are chapters of a story being written with care. If we allow ourselves to trust, we may find that what seems like delay is, in truth, preparation. Consider the moments in life when joy has broken through unexpectedly, when the burdens we carried so heavily were suddenly lifted, or when beauty and grace appeared in ways we could not have anticipated. These are glimpses of the divine surprise, of a goodness that transcends our understanding. They remind us that the author of life has a penchant for the extraordinary, for bringing light from shadow and hope from despair. To lose hope is to close our eyes to the possibility of such a surprise. It is to forget that we are held by a love that delights in giving, often when we least expect it. Yet, even when we falter, that love does not abandon us. It waits patiently, drawing us back to the promise that all things are being worked together for good. Let us then hold fast to hope, not as a fragile thread, but as a steadfast anchor. For when the time comes, when the surprise breaks upon us like dawn after the longest night, we will find that every tear, every trial was worth enduring for the joy set before us. Hope is not the fleeting dream of an optimist, nor the shallow assurance of mere positive thinking. It is something far deeper, more enduring, and infinitely more powerful. Hope anchors itself not in the shifting and fragile circumstances of this world, but in the eternal nature of what is unseen yet ever present. It is the quiet conviction that there is meaning in the chaos, and that the story being written is guided by hands far wiser and gentler than our own. This kind of hope does not falter when life's trials press heavily upon us, nor does it dissolve when answers seem distant. It persists because it is not rooted in the temporary or the tangible, but in the character of the one who sees all things and works them together for good. Hope, in its truest form, is an act of trust. It says, I may not see the road ahead, but I know it leads somewhere beautiful. To lose hope is to trade this assurance for despair, to shut our eyes to the possibility of a future filled with promise. Yet hope is not something we conjure on our own, it is given to us, a steady flame that lights our path even in the darkest valleys. When we hold on to it, we find ourselves strengthened, able to walk forward with a quiet confidence that what lies ahead is not chaos but purpose. Hope, then, is a gift not fragile, but steadfast, inviting us to see beyond what is immediate and to trust in the unfolding of something far greater than we can imagine. It is the whisper that reminds us we are not abandoned, even when the world feels bleak. It is the assurance that surprises far beyond our understanding are already being prepared for us. We are by nature creatures of sight and touch, drawn to measure reality by what lies before us. Yet the truest things, the most profound workings of life, are often hidden from our immediate perception. What we see is but a fragment, a shadow of the fuller picture, a glimpse through a narrow window that only hints at the vastness beyond. If we were to judge life solely by what our senses reveal, we would miss the greater truth that something eternal is at work, shaping all things with a purpose far beyond our comprehension. The trials we face, the waiting that feels endless, and the moments of silence are not signs of abandonment. They are, rather, parts of a tapestry being woven with threads we cannot fully discern. Just as a seed must endure the darkness of the soil before it breaks forth into light, so too do our lives often unfold in ways that seem hidden or obscure until the appointed time. To live as though only the visible matters is to limit our understanding of what is possible. There is a hand guiding even the smallest of details, bringing order out of what appears to be chaos. We may not see the full design now, but faith invites us to trust that there is one. Every challenge, every delay, every unanswered question is a piece of a story that is still unfolding. This unseen work is no less real for being beyond our grasp. Indeed, it is often in the quiet and the hidden that the most extraordinary surprises are being prepared. What feels like uncertainty to us is, in truth, the steady hand of something far greater, moving with precision and love to bring about a purpose we cannot yet imagine. If we dare to trust in what we cannot see, we may find that hope leads us to a future far richer and more beautiful than we ever dreamed possible. There is a peculiar discomfort in waiting, a restlessness that tugs at the soul when answers are delayed and the road ahead remains obscured. It is tempting in such moments to believe that time is being wasted, that silence means absence, or that nothing of value is occurring. Yet, nothing could be further from the truth. Waiting is not a void but a season of preparation, a necessary chapter in the story of becoming. Consider the ways of nature. The soil must rest before it yields a harvest. The caterpillar must dwell in the chrysalis before it emerges transformed. And even the stars must wait for the night to reveal their brilliance. In the same way, our lives often require seasons of stillness and hidden growth, where the surface may appear unchanged, but beneath something profound is taking shape. It is not in spite of waiting, but because of it, that the best things are made ready. This is the paradox of preparation. What seems like delay is, in truth, the careful crafting of a greater purpose. The struggles we endure and the questions that linger are not obstacles to the plan, they are the very tools used to refine it. Every moment of longing, every sigh of impatience is shaping us into vessels capable of holding the blessings yet to come. There is a wisdom at work that we cannot fully comprehend, a timing that is far better than our own. To resist this process is to forfeit the growth it offers, but to trust, to endure with hope, is to allow the seeds of today to bear fruit in their proper season. What may feel like an endless wait is, in truth, the careful unfolding of a surprise far greater than we could ever have imagined. For the best gifts are not rushed, they are prepared with intention and revealed at the perfect moment. There are moments in life when, unbidden and unexpected, joy breaks through like sunlight piercing a heavy cloud. These moments catch us off guard, small blessings, sudden answers, or a sense of peace arriving when we least anticipate it. They remind us that life is not a random string of events, but a narrative written with care, with surprises woven into its fabric. And these surprises are not mere coincidences, they are deliberate gifts, whispering of a hand that delights in generosity. We often try to predict how life will unfold, clinging to plans and expectations as if they were certainties. Yet the greatest blessings rarely come in the form we expect. The architect of life has a way of upending our assumptions, delivering not what we thought we wanted, but what we truly needed, often in ways far richer than our limited imaginations could conceive. There is a kind of artistry to this. The surprises that grace our lives are not just arbitrary good fortune, they are evidence of a profound and tender wisdom that sees the whole picture when we see only a part. They remind us that we are not alone in this vast and sometimes bewildering world. When joy arrives unexpectedly, it is as if the very fabric of existence is nudging us, saying, "You are seen, you are cared for." These moments are not always grand or dramatic. Sometimes they are as simple as a kind word, a chance encounter, or a solution appearing just when we had given up. They are signs of something greater at work, something that loves to astonish us with goodness just when we begin to doubt it. If we give in to despair, we risk closing our eyes to these gifts. But if we hold on to hope, even in the midst of uncertainty, we remain open to the wonder of these surprises. And when they come, as they surely will, we find ourselves reminded that life is not a barren journey, but one filled with unexpected grace, waiting to be revealed. Life often feels like a series of disconnected moments, a puzzle whose pieces seem scattered and mismatched. We experience joys and sorrows, triumphs and trials, yet we struggle to see how they fit together. It is easy to feel, in the midst of uncertainty or suffering, that our lives are without order or purpose. But such a view is as limited as staring at the back of a tapestry, where the threads appear tangled and chaotic. On the other side, a masterpiece is being woven. There is a deliberate care in the way our stories are being shaped. No detail is overlooked, no moment wasted. What may seem to us as random or meaningless is, in truth, guided by a profound intelligence and love that is beyond our comprehension. Each thread, whether it be joy or pain, clarity or confusion, is chosen with purpose and woven into the greater design of our lives. If we are honest, we often resist this idea because we cannot see the full picture. We long for explanations, for certainty, for the assurance that what we endure has value. Yet, even in our doubt, the work continues. The same care that orchestrates the stars and commands the seas is at work in the smallest details of our lives. And though we may not understand the pattern now, one day we will stand in awe of its beauty. To lose hope is to turn away from this truth, to dismiss the idea that our lives are guided by hands more skilled than our own. Yet even in our doubt, those hands do not falter. They continue their work, patiently weaving a story that will one day surprise us with its brilliance. If we choose to trust in this process, we will find that every thread, even the darkest ones, has its place in the design. And when the fullness of the picture is revealed, we will see that it is not chaos but care, not chance but love, that has shaped our path all along. There is a peculiar strength in hope, one that defies logic and withstands the harshest storms of life. It is not the absence of fear or struggle, but the quiet resolve to press on despite them. Hope whispers of a truth greater than what we see, urging us to trust in a purpose we cannot yet grasp. It is this trust that allows us to endure, even when the way forward seems impossible to discern. Life, as we know it, is filled with uncertainties. The road is often winding, with shadows that seem to grow longer the farther we walk. Yet hope does not require us to see the entire path. It asks only that we take the next step, trusting that the light will meet us there. In the act of moving forward, we discover that hope is not passive. It is an act of courage, a refusal to give in to despair. This kind of hope is not easily shaken, for it is anchored in something eternal. It does not waver with changing circumstances or crumble under the weight of disappointment. It remains steadfast because it is rooted in the assurance that we are not abandoned, that the challenges we face are neither random nor meaningless. There is a purpose unfolding, and though we may not see it now, hope invites us to trust that it is good. It is in the times of greatest uncertainty that hope shines brightest. Like a lantern in the dark, it does not banish all shadows but offers enough light to guide our way. When we choose to hold on to it, we find that it strengthens us in ways we did not know we needed. Hope enables us to walk forward with a quiet confidence, knowing that no matter how long or difficult the journey, we are being led to a destination worth every step. And in the end, we will find that hope was not misplaced, but fulfilled in ways far beyond our imagining. There is a love that surpasses all understanding, a love that neither fades nor falters, no matter how uncertain or difficult life becomes. This love does not depend on our strength, our faith, or even our ability to hold on to hope. It remains steadfast, unchanging, and ever present. It is a love that meets us in our darkest moments when we feel most alone and reminds us that we are never truly abandoned. We are, at times, prone to measuring love by what we can see and feel. When life grows hard, when prayers seem unanswered, we may begin to doubt that such love exists at all. Yet this is the mystery of it. It does not waver with our circumstances, nor does it diminish in our doubts. It remains constant, not because of who we are, but because of who it comes from. This love is not merely passive, it is active, moving in ways we cannot see, preparing blessings and joys even in the midst of our trials. When we falter, when we lose sight of hope, it does not withdraw. Instead, it draws closer, gently urging us forward, carrying us when we cannot carry ourselves. It delights in surprising us, in turning moments of despair into glimpses of unexpected grace. We often think that love must always be visible, always felt to be real. But the greatest love works quietly, faithfully, behind the scenes of our lives. It is present in the silence, in the waiting, in the moments when all seems lost. And though we may not see it now, one day we will look back and realize it was there all along, shaping and guiding us toward a purpose far beyond our understanding. To hold on to this truth is to hold on to the very essence of hope. For even when we stumble, when our faith wavers and our strength fails, this love does not let go. It assures us that we are not forgotten, that the story is not over, and that the surprises yet to come will reveal the depth and beauty of a love that has never once ceased to care for us. Pain is one of the great mysteries of life, a weight we all bear yet seldom understand. It comes in many forms: loss, disappointment, fear, and often leaves us questioning its purpose. We are tempted to see it as meaningless, an interruption to the joy we seek, or a flaw in the world's design. Yet pain, as strange as it seems, is not without meaning. It is neither random nor purposeless, but rather it plays a vital role in the unfolding of a greater plan. We must first recognize that pain is not the final word. It is a chapter, not the whole story, and its presence does not negate the goodness of what lies ahead. Just as a sculptor must chisel away rough stone to reveal the beauty within, so too is pain a tool used to refine, to shape us into something more than we were before. It teaches us endurance, deepens our compassion, and opens our hearts to joys we might otherwise take for granted. Pain is also a signal, a reminder that we are not self-sufficient, that we are part of a story far larger than ourselves. It humbles us, strips away our illusions of control, and draws us toward the source of true comfort and strength. In this way, even our suffering becomes a thread in the tapestry of our lives, woven with care into a design we cannot yet see. Though it may feel isolating, pain is never without purpose. It is preparing us for something greater, making room for the blessings yet to come. The most precious joys often emerge from the darkest seasons, like flowers that bloom only after a long and bitter winter. And when those blessings come, when we are surprised by the goodness we thought had passed us by, we begin to see that the pain we endured was not wasted. It was part of the preparation, a necessary step toward a joy that could not have been otherwise. To hold on to hope in the midst of pain is no easy task, but it is a powerful act of faith. It declares that even in our suffering, we are not forsaken, and that the trials we face are leading us towards something more beautiful than we can yet imagine. When the fullness of that beauty is revealed, we will see that even the darkest moments were filled with purpose and grace. There is a curious thing about trust. It requires us to lean into the unknown, to step forward without full knowledge of where the path will lead. It is not an easy thing, for we are creatures who crave certainty and cling to control. Yet trust, though it may seem like surrender, is in truth an act of profound courage. It is the willingness to believe that even when we cannot see the plan, there is one, and that it is good. We often find ourselves impatient with life's delays, longing for answers and resolutions on our own timetable. Yet what we perceive as delay is not a denial but a preparation. A gardener does not rush the seasons. He knows that growth takes time, that the soil must first be tilled and the roots allowed to deepen before the harvest can come. So it is with our lives. The waiting, the uncertainty, the moments of doubt, they are not wasted. They are the means by which we are readied for what is to come. To trust is to let go of our demand for immediate understanding and to accept that there is a wisdom far greater than our own at work. It is to believe that the one who holds all things together is not indifferent to our struggles, but is using even them to prepare a blessing beyond what we can imagine. The very act of trusting shifts our focus from what is lacking to what is being made ready. This does not mean the road will always be easy or the answers quick in coming, but it does mean that we are not walking it alone. Trust reminds us that every step, even the uncertain ones, is guided. It assures us that though we may not see the full picture, the artist has not ceased to work, and when the time is right, we will find that the waiting was not in vain. The gifts prepared for us will not only meet our needs but exceed them, leaving us astonished at how intricately the pieces of our lives have been woven together. To trust in this process is to open ourselves to the surprises of guises of grace and to discover that the delays and detours were not obstacles, but the very path that led us to the joy we were always meant to find. Perseverance in hope is not a small thing. It is, in fact, one of the greatest acts of faith a person can undertake. To hold on to hope when the world around you whispers that it is futile is to declare that you believe in a reality deeper and truer than what is seen. It is to stake your heart on the conviction that the story is not over, that the chapters of despair and waiting are leading somewhere good, and that the author of it all has not abandoned his work. There is a peculiar joy that comes to those who persist in hope, a joy that is richer because it was forged in the fire of trials. When the moment of fulfillment arrives, when the longed-for answer appears, or the unexpected blessing comes, it is not simply the gift itself that brings joy, but the realization of the journey that led to it. The dark valleys, the unanswered questions, the days of silence, all are revealed to have been part of the plan, shaping us and preparing us for the wonder of what was to come. This joy is no shallow happiness, it is a profound, soul-deep recognition that every step, even the painful ones, had purpose. It is the kind of joy that brings with it awe and gratitude, a sense that what has been given is far greater than what was lost or endured. It is the surprise of finding that the delays we feared were not hindrances but gifts, allowing the best to come at just the right time. Such a reward is not something we can manufacture or rush. It is given, often in ways and at times we do not expect. But when it comes, it reveals the wisdom and care that have been at work all along. The surprises of life, those moments when hope is fulfilled in ways far beyond our imagining, remind us that we are not forgotten, that the story being written is far more beautiful than we dared to dream. To persevere in hope is to keep your heart open to this truth, to trust that the waiting will not be wasted, and that the joy to come will outweigh every trial. And when it does, we will find ourselves not only surprised but overwhelmed with gratitude, realizing that the promise of hope was not only fulfilled but exceeded beyond our wildest expectations. And so, as we navigate the winding paths of life, let us hold fast to hope. Not because the road is always clear or the answers immediate, but because hope is a declaration of trust in something greater than ourselves. It reminds us that even in the waiting, in the unanswered questions, and in the darkest moments there is purpose. The surprises that await us are not random, but gifts prepared with intention and love, blessings that will meet us when we least expect them. In holding on to hope, we align ourselves with the truth that our story is still being written, and that the final chapters are more beautiful than we can imagine. Let us walk forward. Then, not with despair but with a quiet confidence, knowing that what lies ahead is not merely good, but far beyond what we have dared to dream.